Poof. I swear, if I don't stream for 2 days, I forget how to use a computer. I mean, why else am I going to use a computer for? Hentai? I don't think so. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. Whew. SCR. Okay, interesting tournament, right? Because you guys know I didn't fly to it. I drove there, back and forth each day. I feel like SCR, the first day was super great and exciting. Some of the best Tekken matches I've ever seen. I saw tons of people that I hadn't seen, and it was just like really, I don't know, it just seemed really great. Like overall, the venue was nice. It was kind of a walk, but it was on the 3rd floor of the Anaheim Convention Center. That was nice. I liked everything about it on the first day. Second day, it just started. It started with the tournament running late, right? And I was like, oh boy, you know, this sucks, right? Because I wanted to be on time, and I was on time, and I got there on time. I'm there, I'm ready, and it seemed just like frustrating for a lot of people. Because you guys don't know the inside like thing, you know. When things don't go right at tournaments, people behind the scenes are really pissed and stressed, and they don't give off a good, happy, I want to be there kind of vibe, right? So day 1 felt a lot better. Day 2, it just felt weird. Like, you know, it was late. Things were running late. Injust Ass was taking forever. And that was already weird, right? Then, what's his name? Bin Chang, the Korean guy. He came out of nowhere, left field, and he's like, look, you know, I can't go, I can't play, my flight's leaving at whatever clock. So we explained that to the top 8, but that was really bunk too. Like, that in itself, Bin Chang not being able to play in the top 8 that he qualified for, really in itself makes a huge difference in everything else, right? Because he wasn't there. So Jimmy J. Tran got a bye. And then with that bye, he ended up losing to Jeondding, right? So, I mean, everything could have been different. Everything could have been different if he were there. So that's another bummer, right? It's just kind of like not the way you want it to go down. This is the planet Earth, right? So in the end, you know, there's no other way to do it. It happens. We're humans. People make mistakes. Flights get canceled. Things are late. Whatever, right? But it had to go down that way, and it's unfortunate that it had to go down that way with a bye, whatever. Furthermore, you know, and this all ended up becoming a huge drama later, right? And we'll get to that. But let me just tell you, going into commentary for SoCal Regionals, for me, now, I don't know how you perceive the mentality of a Tekken commentator should be or is, but personally, I never am hoping for an EchoFox grand final, right? That's the case with Rip, that's the case with Steve, that's the case with anyone with eyes, right? I mean, we've seen it so many times. And you've seen it, right? You've seen it so many times yourself, right? But for you, it's easy to just go, oh, another EchoFox grand final? Boom, let me turn this shit off, right? But for a commentator, right? For a commentator, it's not so easy. You are stuck. You're next to Rip. And you are watching the same match that you've not only watched once or twice. I'm talking for a long-ass fucking time. We've been traveling around with the arcade version of this game. Last year, I went to 20 cities. I mean, I've been commentating the same episode of the same fucking TV show. I mean, I don't even know how many times. So you can imagine, I'm going into the tournament, keeping my bunghole crossed that these two hella skilled motherfuckers don't end up in grand finals again, right? Duh, right? Obvious, right? I talked to Rip beforehand. Everyone always says that. Every time there's a tournament that I'm commentating, personally, what I pray for as a Tekken fan, commentator, everything, is a really entertaining top 8, right? The number one thing we need for it to be really entertaining is not the same thing we've seen every time. And it has nothing to do with how much we love JDCR. Listen, I have shared a bed with JDCR 2 times in my life, okay? I like him, all right? Nothing sexual, all right? Let me just say that right away, but it's true. Okay? So don't question my opinion of JDCR. Let me just say that off the bat. Okay? There's a picture of this guy between the sheets welcoming me in. And the only reason I accepted and did it is because I thought I would get better at Tekken. But it did not work. It was worth a try. So, obviously, as a commentator, I want to see something we haven't seen so that everyone who's watching has a new experience with Tekken. There are so many characters in the game. If you look back at Evo, Taisei's Steve was so refreshing, right? It was just this like really awesome display of what the game has to offer for the viewer, right? So I'm constantly hoping that we have not the same episode again, right? Imagine when it comes down to commentating that scenario again, how hard it is to keep everyone from being pissed, right? I mean, literally, you go from being a commentator to being like a fucking crowd control, like SWAT team because there's a riot in the chat. You know, that's the way it ends up being. You know, that's the way it at least ends up feeling, right? So, anyway, that's what happened. Top 8 went down. It was a little funky. No Bin Chang. Jimmy J lost. He got his ass kicked by Jeondding, which was a heartbreak because the first match between them was like the greatest match of all time. It was so exciting. I think I shit my pants with excitement. It was so crazy. That match, I couldn't believe the way the perfects were happening. Perfect here, perfect there. How could it be this exciting? I don't know. I'll deal with that later. You know, it was just so good, right? And then the next day, it was such a blowout. So, you know, these are a bunch of things together that are putting a damper on this top 8, right? Because, like I said, it's running late, right? Bin Chang, DQ'd, right? We have a EchoFox top grand final, right? So we got all these things that are trying to bring me down, right? And I am not going to allow them to bring me down because I don't even give a shit. I'm here to have fun. I drove all the way over here. I'm going to sit down in this chair regardless of how many times I've seen this same fucking episode, and I'm going to get turned up. And I'm going to do my job. That's why I'm here, right? So, top 8 happens. Everything's cool. I'm happy. It was fun. We made the best of the situation. Everything's cool. And right when I get out of there, hey, Twitter drama, Aris. Hanzo tells me, you better check Twitter, drama. All right. I go outside, and I start to just glimpse at Twitter, right? The first thing I saw, the funniest thing is, the first thing I saw was an apology. That isn't that funny because by the time I hit Twitter, it was already too late. The shit had gone down without me. A bunch of tweets, you know, this and that. There was already an apology, right? So I saw that and I was like, okay, what is this guy apologizing for? And then I went and looked at all that and I was like, okay, interesting. And then there was 2 things I saw that really were like super triggering, right? They were the things that were said that everyone knows about, that AJ said, who later he apologized for, and then I accepted, right? There are those things. But there's this one, let me pull it up. There's this tweet by, let me tell you, Z the CEO, okay? I'll read it for you. Let me read it for you. It says, at Avoiding the Puddle, that collusion comment on stream made our jobs very hard in the Tekken chat as mods, bro. Just FYI. Let me read that again. That collusion comment on stream made our jobs very hard in the Tekken chat as mods, bro. Just FYI. Let me let that sink in. Okay, I read that shit, and you know what I did? my first instinct was to go around calling people jackasses, but that is never the right thing to do. Let me tell you what Twitter should be used for. Twitter should be used to share things that make other people happy, right? Pictures of tits, pictures of cupcakes, videos of kittens, puppies rolling down a small flight of stairs. You know, these are the things that you should use Twitter for, right? Not to vent, not to talk about your girlfriend or your political views or any of these other things that nobody gives a shit about. You know, it's not like a diary, right? So, but that's not the case, always. So when I was about to tweet these knee-jerk tweets to these crazy triggering things that were said, I just put my phone away. I decided to go with, well, Twitter sucks today. And I turned it off. And that was it. So, it was the right decision, I've decided. When I think about this tweet here, I can't believe what I'm reading. Let me find it again. I want to get it like right down. Oh, here it is. That collusion comment on stream made our jobs very hard in the chat as mods, bro. Listen, that sounds like a hard job being a mod in the chat during an EchoFox Grand Final. It sounds tough. You should try being a commentator during an EchoFox Grand Final. Try that. It's a lot harder. I guarantee it. But, you know, my bad, amigo. Are you out of your fucking mind? You're out of your fucking mind. I can't believe that you even said that. Are you out of your mind? I shouldn't be even like flipping out. I gotta keep my cool. But that's the dumbest shit I've ever read.
Thank you.
I'm over here trying to make the best of a grand finals that I've seen 1,000,000 times, and this guy's telling me that his job as a mod was made more difficult because I said pina coladas? You know? Think about what's going on here, right? I mean, I not only had to be the bigger man, I had to be the balder man, I had to be so many other things here. But it just shows how people change, right? Because a few years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, I would have been already in Twitch jail for the shit I would have said, right? But that's not the way to do it. You gotta be sophisticated and mature, right? So, as I said, it's all history. It's all, butt hash under the bridge, okay? But that is my stance on it when it comes to commentating that same sorry-ass shit again. You know, it's very hard. It's frustrating. So, that's all I wanted to mention. What about you guys? SCR was crazy. Oh, man, a little too hot for TV, actually. Excuse me, it's getting a little hot in these rhinos. I didn't even watch. I tried watching Marvel. We all the people we were watching Marvel with decided that it's super hard to watch. I mean, it's like you can't even understand what's happening. You can follow it for a period of time, but it seems like the more advanced the players got, the more unwatchable it got. There were so many things happening at the same time. I was confused. And the confusion, it eventually brought on boredom, right? How long are you going to be confused before you're like, well, I don't even want to look at that anymore. It's like not even a stimuli, you know? So, whatever. Okay, that's that. You know, I still like the people that play that game, right? I like F-Champ. I like Marn's leg. I like both his legs, right? I like, Clockwork. Hell yeah, lots of people, you know? So I'll watch it and I'll cheer for the players I like, but it just doesn't seem like my game to watch. I didn't even watch all of it, which is, if you had asked me, I would have thought, oh, I'm looking forward to seeing Marvel at SCR, but it was just not, it wasn't for me. Maybe it'll be more fun to watch on stream because of the chat. The chat can really spice it up, you know? Anyway, earlier I was really like getting pissed off about that comment by Z, the CEO, and I think I should say that despite meaning everything I said, I don't really care that much. It's just I was trying to emphasize that at that moment when I read that, I couldn't believe it. Because I just got off the chair commentating this. See, here's how I felt, right? I was frustrated the whole day. I was frustrated with the tournament being late. I was frustrated with Bin Chang dropping out of top 8 and the EchoFox, both players being in there, plus Joey Fury, another Jack player. So it wasn't like the most ideal, right? And by the end of it, I genuinely felt like, and I've gotten this feedback from a ton of people. But I felt like Rip did a fantastic job, and I also felt great about commentary. But if I'm going to get off that seat and think, man, considering the circumstances, that was pretty fun, right? If I'm going to get up and see all this bullshit about, like, my job as a moderator is hard, I'm like, dude, do you know what I just been through? Your job as a moderator is hard. I had to make some jokes to get through this fucking disaster again. You know, if you were to ask me, I wouldn't do it next time. If you were to say, like, hey,
Mierda.
You are a little snatch.
Hey, thanks very much, dear Z, the CEO. I don't even know who that is officially, but thanks very much. Damn, right when I open my mouth?
Mierda.
You're still my favorite bald-headed gay bigot commentator of all time. Free.
Thanks, man. That's nice of you. What was your name? Tom Cruising for Strange. Thanks, man. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah. So, at this point, I can tell you that if you tell me, hey, go to this tournament and commentate it, and these guys are going to be in the grand finals, I don't think I would want to, right? Because all you're doing is you're putting yourself back into that same frustrating situation where you're forced to, like, you know, it's not easy to commentate that again and make it fun, right? So, you know, you can imagine making it through a top 8 like that. It was like, all right, you know, that was good. Rip and I talked before the top 8, and we were like, damn, you know, we gotta make this good, right? We gotta have fun and make sure we hope the matches are good. We were basically talking to each other, like praying that the matches are good, because we're kind of screwed, right? We were kind of screwed. We're missing a player. JDCR and Saint are killing everyone for free. And look at what ended up happening too, right? The biggest match that everyone was waiting for top 8 was Jeondding versus Mr. Naps, the rematch, because the one that they fought in winner's side bracket was like the battle of Goliaths. It was the coolest, best, one of the best Tekken matches I've seen. I don't even know in how long, right? So the rematch ended up being such a blowout that it was like another difficulty in the top 8. So the fact that we ended up making it through that, and Rip and I were able to be like, all right, you know what? Not bad. Considering, not bad. And then it's like, you know, you can understand, right? You can understand that when you see some shit about how I'm making the job hard for mods can eat 2 dicks, every one of them. Any one of those mods would shit their pants in that seat. And they definitely wouldn't do a good job shitting their pants, let alone commentating. So, you know, it triggered me. And it took the finger of Harada to prevent me from tweeting about it. So, I mean, there's a lot of lessons to learn here, right? But the tournament went down the way it did. And if you ask me, outside of all the Twitter drama that happened afterwards, which, as I said, is bong water under the bridge, right? If it wasn't for that, I would have said that it was a pretty damn, you know, dope tournament. And considering we've seen that episode a few times before, it turned out pretty fun regardless, right? That's what I would have said. But, you know, whatever. You got to throw a cloud on everything, right? So, end of story. But I think that another thing about SCR that was kind of different this year was it really felt all business. And what I mean by that is, so you go to a lot of tournaments.
Mierda.
Your commentary was only reason I stayed for finals. Love you, brew.
Hey, thanks. That's nice of you to say. Oh, Destiny fucker. Why did it say anonymous this time? You must have spelled it differently. Hey, I'll thank all those subs too. Just let me poop these thoughts out. I forgot what I was saying. Excuse me. Oh yeah, so most other tournaments you go to, they kind of have this vibe of like everyone's there to hang out and like have fun and like, I don't know what else to call it, but like loiter, right? There's just people around not doing shit, right? At most tournaments. But SCR seemed like all business. The people that were there were either there to play their tournament match, play like serious casuals, or buy something from a booth or something, and there just wasn't a lot of like random undesirables around. So the tournament felt real like serious business only. Let's get in here, let's do our shit, let's bounce. So because of that, I think I ended up seeing hardly anyone, because the people that were there their eyes were glued to something, whatever they were there for, and I just didn't see a lot of people. For a major, I feel like I hardly saw anyone. I don't even think I took one selfie. No, I took like 2 selfies. That's it, total. So that's crazy compared to like 100, right? That's how you know selfie count, right? So I don't know. It's just people were like busy. Was looking forward to you blowing up AJ today. Did I not blow him up enough? I mean, dude, you know the most fucked up thing about this whole AJ thing is like, here's the really fucked up thing about it, right? So, I'm over here acting like a real big man, right? I'm like, yeah, I was the mature one that didn't tweet the knee-jerk fucking shit talk, right? But it's super cheating for me. And I didn't even put myself in this situation. He put himself in the situation. I ended up having, the moment he tweeted that shit, the legions of stoners came in on him and started talking so much shit about him on Twitter that it was almost like I did the knee-jerk reaction and I was the bigger and balder man. Because while the minions were talking shit on him nonstop, I'm over here sitting back with my Jewish writers, writing and figuring out how I'm gonna be like diplomatic about this, right? So isn't that so fucked up? Like, on the one hand, there's a secondary army coming in from the rear. I didn't even send them there. This is like a automatic security system. And they're already on the move. The army is on the move from the rear. And I'm over here, like, orchestrating a ruse in the front. The front is like, oh, diplomatic, you know, I'm a mature streamer, which all kinds of, like, you know, it's so fucked up. It really is like you shot yourself in the foot. But like we said before, and like we'll say again, lessons learned for everyone. You don't have to make the mistake yourself to learn from it, right? So that was an interesting turn of events, right? But anyway, let's continue. Just a moment. I know, but like we've said many times, lessons learned, right?
Thank you.
Lessons learned. You guys don't have to make the mistake yourself to learn from it. That's such an important thing to remember. Because if you stop to smell the begonias, there are people making mistakes all around you. Mistakes that you could make. So all you gotta do is, instead of make the mistake yourself, look right next door and there's some dumbass, and it's like, oh shit, well don't do that, right? I mean, that's really what I take away from it. I feel like I learned so much over this weekend. You know, it was like, wow, lot to still learn as a commentator. Another thing about commentary, and I'm gonna still thank these people, but I want to poop these thoughts out as they pop up. I have to say that last year when I did commentary like often, when I was going into it, I didn't feel as excited, and I didn't feel like this is like this. So here's how I'm going to give you clarity on the way I feel about commentary, so you can get a clear view on my idea. I don't do it very often, right? And a lot of people really like my commentary. Shh.
Mierda.
JDCR and Saint makes T7 so boring I don't even want to touch the game.
Hey, nobody gives a shit. Thanks very much for the $10.
Thank you.
Just a second. I'll get to you in a moment, okay? Damn, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I remember. So, as a commentator, right, I don't do it very often, so when I know I'm going to do it, yeesh.
Mierda.
Did you tech Justin's back throw?
It's untechable, and you know that. Anyway.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Let me stay focused here. You know, I don't do it very often. Everybody is like, it's a lot of pressure, right? But I don't feel the pressure so much as I feel like excitement. Like, because I know I can do a good job, right? Every time. I never feel like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do a good job. And because of that, I'm confident, but I still want to do a great job, right? I want to do like, I want to live up to what everyone is expecting of me. I want it to be great, right? So to me, I feel like commentating less makes you feel that way. And if you feel that way, the product is going to be better. But if you commentate all the time, you become so complacent with your commentary that it becomes like a routine. And it becomes so routine that it, like, you can hear the routine, you know? And I think that that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool because it feels good to go into a commentary gig or job or whatever with, like, the feeling of, like, I'm gonna fucking kill it. You should have asked the people that were there outside. Ask the people that were there outside with me before commentary. I was so fucking amped up. I was gonna go in there and just punch James Chen's lights out. Boom! Not really, but, you know, something equally like, why did he do that? He's turned. That's why. You know, something like that. James Chen was so disappointed that I didn't hug him, but it was right after commentary. I was sweaty. You know, I was turned, and I was like, look, let me take a rain check on the hug. And he was being aggressive, too. You know how, I swear, I don't know what it is, but anyway, James Chen I make an exception for. Just, normally, boys, I have to defend. But James Chen, you know, whatever, man. It's all right. He's old school. But anyway, my point is that my attitude going into commentary was like, I'm gonna just fucking kill it, blow the roof off this place. And that was on the first day. And so, like, you know, it felt good. I felt really excited. The first day was so much fun. It was like I got a hold of Mr. Wizard's best butt hash, the secret private reserve shit he doesn't even give anyone, you know, the special occasion butt hash, you know what I mean? Anyway, Reality Stoned. Reality Stoned, dude. Man, that game's sound design is something. I gotta watch it a little more and give it some more of a chance. Because, you know, it's better off, this is how I feel, you're better off liking Marvel vs. Capcom than you are not liking it, right? Because that shit's gonna be everywhere you go. It's kind of like one of those things where, like, there's that one person that you really fucking hate and it ruins going to wherever you're going because that person's gonna be there. The best strat is to make friends with that person because they're fucking up your life. Have you ever had that situation where it's like, oh, I can't go, that guy's there, fuck that guy. You know, you gotta man up and you gotta just be the bolder man and go up to that guy and make fucking friends with your enemy. That's the strat. And then it's like you run the show, you know? You run the show. So anyway, I don't even know how I got into that, but oh yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is the guy that we don't like that's going to be at every fucking tournament that we are going to, so we might as well make friends with it. That's some good analogy. I lost track of what I was talking about because of all these people I got to thank, but that's some quality shit. Anyway, Snowman, thanks, man. What did he say after watching Top 8? Oh, yeah, you know that guy was asking about Chloe earlier and whether I think Chloe's holding Jeondding back. No, people don't have the right idea about Tekken. People don't even get it at all. Excuse me. The idea of a tier list in Tekken is literally novelty when it comes to tournament. It's so, like, loose. The worst character can win, and it's just the way the game's designed. When you push the one button, a 10-frame jab is going to come out with your left hand with every character. And a lot of other things are also, like, homogenous among lots of different, you know, characters. So, whatever, man. It's a dumb topic. I'm so tired of that topic. It's like I don't even like to touch on it. Homogeneous.
Your commentary was godlike, so here's a small portion of my SCR Guilty Gear winnings.
Oh, shit, dude. So this guy, Beautiful Dude, right? You guys know him. He's a Guilty Gear player. His his biggest claim to fame in the Tekken community is better than a lot of fucking people can say. This guy beat Tanukana in tournament, right? So let's go back to SCR. I'm at SCR. The first time I saw him there was on stage playing some game that looked like it was trash. It was like, I don't even know what I was watching. It was like Final Fantasy characters, but they could fly, and they were in like a virtual on type of a arena. So he was playing this game, and I was like, what the fuck is he playing, right? Whatever. And then later on, I saw him, and he was on stage, right? So then later on, I saw him, and he was getting mad hype with Alex Valle. Like, Alex Valle was hip-hop hugging him and then massaging his back and gave him a medal, and there was no one near them, right? So they were getting really hyped with each other, and Beautiful Dude was really excited. And I was like, oh, you know, he must have won that game he was playing, and for some reason, they're both hype about it. So I was like, whatever. And then later on, I saw him. I was like, hey, man, how's it going? You know, I didn't even ask him about the medal around his neck because, you know, I don't give a shit about that game. But then he told me that he won Guilty Gear. That's a real game. That's not some weird Rise of the Incarnates shit. That's a real game. So then I got like fucking Cinco de Mayo parade. I was like firing guns in the air because he's a stoner from the chat, right? So, I mean, you know, I always root for stoners from the chat room for sure. And he fucking killed it. First place in Guilty Gear? Hell yeah. Good shit, man. Thanks for the dollary dues and congrats. That's a real game. That's not some fucking weird Mickey Mouse virtual on, right? That was sick. Nice job. Congrats. MVCI, best VCI. I mean, you know, I'm trying to make friends with Salad over here, all right? Like I said earlier, it's to my, you know, I should make friends with MVCI. It's gonna be everywhere I fucking go, right? Why would I want to hate it? I want to like it, so I'm gonna do my best. It's not making it easy.
Rubbing his chin like he had a beard.
Yeah, I was there. Anyway, thanks. Hey, it's Yoon. Appreciate it. And Hanzo Gonzo, thanks. And Destiny Fucker. Thanks.
Tekken's been my only fighting game. What do you say going to MVCI is easier or harder to learn?
I mean, there's no way for me to really answer that question. I've been playing Tekken since I was a little kid. And Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, you know, it's a new beast. It does not feel very intuitive for me, so I don't know. I've heard people say it's harder than Tekken. I've heard people say that's silly. And then another thing is, nobody really even knows how hard MVCI really is, because the game just came out, and who knows if... Okay, so remember TAC Infinite in Marvel 3? That's like an entire new concept that didn't get discovered until it got discovered, and that changed everything. So something could happen like roll canceling or something that really changes the difficulty level of the game overall. It's too early to really even know that. But as a beginner, I'd say both games are very hard. For sure.
Mierda.
Another thing, how could I forget, dude? How could I forget another? So let's count the things on Sunday that were trying to bring me down. You know, now that I think about it, that Sunday was something. I'm surprised I made it out of that Sunday alive, now that I'm thinking about it. Some things are too hot for TV, and you guys are way too young to know about everything that happens. So maybe you should go to one of these majors. That would be like your incentive, to go to the major yourself, right? But if we're talking about, let's just talk about Tekken, right? Tekken was, what, 2.5 hours late. We got the same usual suspects in top 8. Jimmy J. Tran gets blown out by Jeondding, which was the most anticipated rematch of the whole tournament, right? Blowout. Totally deflated. No jam left in my donut, right? Bin Chang leaves the scene of the crime. He's not even in there. There's a bye in top 8 at a master level Tekken tournament. And on top of all that, the controller malfunction pivots the tournament like crazy. What? I mean, what a nightmare top 8. If you ask me on paper, that's a nightmare top 8. And people are saying, hey, that was fun to watch. So, you know, I mean, I'm just saying, praise be to Umbasa. It was as good as it was. It could have been a disaster. And it wasn't. I thought it was fun. Like I said, at the end of that, Rip and I got up like, all right, you know, not bad considering the circumstances. That was fun. And that's all that matters. If you have fun, you have fun. You gotta, the thing is, you know, the thing you have to understand is First of all, I've said that Pina Colada shit about 100 games and 100 players that are sponsored, right? It's such a loose joke, and it's such a fighting game scene. It's like 895 and Eat Sports and like, you know, Marn's Leg. It's like one of these great fighting game, you know, Cash Detroit and, you know, all these funny fighting game in jokes. That's like one of them. I've been saying it for 100 years, right? And if we're gonna ignore that idea, dude, I gotta like bring some heat to the table, right? This top 8 is bunk, right? I gotta dig in to the bag of tricks. At that point, Rip and I are a couple of magicians, and we're trying to trick you into thinking you're entertained, literally. Whatever. Anyway, you guys feel like playing? I'm feeling pretty good. Actual Salt, Meaty Bop, and OK Florid. Thanks. Oh yeah, I was so thrown off during that Joey Fury match. I'm telling you, top 8 was a flusterfuck. No big like my buying strats.
Hey my dude, how's things? Your commentary at SCR was absolute top notch. Cheers, hombre.
That's nice of you, man. Thanks, Sammy T. I appreciate it. Seems like a lot of people are being pretty positive overall about the commentary, and that just means I did my job, right? And, oh, you know, something I should say, too, that I didn't mention before, because people seem to be unclear on it. Like, you know, I curse during commentary, right? And I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't curse all the time. So if I do curse on commentary, it's because I've asked the people who are in charge, and they've told me that, yeah, it's okay. Don't be like over the top, but make it count, and you're allowed to curse, you know? And so I only do it when I'm allowed. Sometimes people are like, you know, whatever. I'm fucking, don't worry. You think I've never fucking commentated before? I know what I'm doing. The first thing I do when I get hired as a commentator is, can I or can I not let loose, you know? And the Tekken Tour, I mean, they're down, you know? Me and the Tekken Tour, we've been 69ing for the last several months, right? I mean, they let me stream off of their channel, you know, restream their channel. I know the rules, you know? I know I can curse, I know I'm allowed, and that's why I do. At Evo, I would never say a F-bomb or a S-bomb or anything. Maybe a little reverse road head here and there, but I'm only bending the rules because I gotta do something, right? Can't have, you know, can't get constipation of the mouth. Nobody wants that.
Commentary was so lala, amigo. Did you say hi to Tasty Steve's crotch?
No, that's another thing. Huge shout out. Oh my god, let's not forget. Earlier I was going to talk about this, but I got distracted. You know how all the different tours have their own channel? So the Tekken tour is streamed on twitch.tv/Tekken, and then there's Capcom Fighters and whatever. The beauty in that is we're able to talk as much shit about whatever we want on the Tekken tour, right? I can talk shit about Marvel being ugly, you know, like, no, whatever I want, right? Because it's on a separate channel. So at the end, when we were saying our goodbyes, we were able to say shit like, oh, you know, Marvel's next, whatever. We could let loose. And that's really great. And another thing that's great about that is I'm so grateful to Hanzo and Seglia and anyone else who was involved in this, but we didn't have to sit on those fucking couches. I didn't have to make eye contact with Tasty Steve's crotch again, right? And, you know, I was sitting back watching In Just Ass commentary, and Godspeed was doing commentary with Wonder Chef, and they were like, the couches looked like they were going to explode, the stage looked like it was going to collapse, and I was just thinking to myself, I don't want to be in that position. I don't want to sit on the couches. I don't want to be there. And thankfully, I didn't have to be there because the Tekken World Tour runs their shit like champions. And they have their own setup in the fucking dungeon, and it's regular business as usual. Putting me on a weird couch. I hate that, dude. Because you know Tasty Steve, he gets way too comfortable. It's like he's at home naked. You know? What are you, crazy? Not only are you not at home and not naked, but you're on camera doing something that requires your attention. That's probably how he does job interviews. You know, like, what up? Sitting at the desk, leg up. What am I supposed to do? Push him off? Push him off.